Welcome, you curious mind. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something fundamental. Two things, actually. Country borders and country flags.
That's right.
We've got some fascinating sources lined up, and we're basically going to unpack what these things really mean, why they matter so much.
It's easy to just glance past them, isn't it? But these lines, these symbols, they're incredibly powerful. We'll look at different kinds, some surprising facts, and how they really tell a nation's story.
Okay, let's start with borders then.
Right.
What exactly are we talking about here? I mean, they're not always physical walls or fences, right?
No, not at all. Borders fundamentally define where a country's authority begins and ends. They're about sovereignty. We can break them down into, say, four main types.
Four types, okay.
Yeah. First, you have natural borders. These are formed by geography. Think rivers, mountains, oceans. The Himalayas between India and China are a classic example.
Right, a huge mountain range. Pretty clear boundary.
Mostly, yes.
Oh.
But even natural borders can be tricky. Rivers change course. Mountain passes can be debated,
Good point. So what's next after natural ones?
Then you've got political borders. These are drawn purely by human decisions. Maybe treaties after a war or historical colonial rulings, sometimes just straight lines on a map.
Like the U.S.-Canada border, parts of that are very straight?
Exactly that. That's largely a political border, product of agreements and history.
Okay. And you mentioned different types affecting movement.
Right. So that leads to open borders.
Right.
Think of Europe's Schengen area. Minimal checks, sometimes none at all for people within the zone. It really encourages movement, trade.
Yeah.
Precisely. And the opposite. Closed or disputed borders.
Yeah.
Places with heavy restrictions, maybe conflict zones.
Like the Korean DMZ or Kashmir.
Exactly. Very controlled, often tense frontiers. And it's fascinating how these lines, natural or man-made, open or closed, shape absolutely everything from trade to culture to stability.
It really makes you think. And some countries just have so many neighbors.
Oh, absolutely. Russia and China, for instance.
Yeah.
They each share borders with 14 other countries. That's the most in the world.
14.
Oh, yeah. And on the flip side, you have Vatican City, just bordering Italy.
Quite the contrast.
It is, and it raises questions, doesn't it? How much does bordering many nations versus just one or two actually shape a country's character and its place in the world?
That's a fascinating question. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From the where to the who, country flags. These are more than just pretty patterns, right?
Oh, definitely more. A flag is like a visual shorthand for a nation's identity, its values, its history, its sense of unity. Every single one is unique. The colors, the symbols, the layout, it all means something.
What kinds of things do they usually represent?
Often things like religion, key geographical features, or political ideas, maybe historical events.
So looking at specific examples really brings this out. You shared some great ones.
Indeed. Take Bangladesh, that red circle on the green field. The red is for the bloodshed for independence, the green for the country's lush landscape. Very powerful.
Simple, but packed with meaning.
Exactly. Or the USA's Stars and Stripes, 50 stars for states, 13 stripes for original colonies. Tells a story of its structure.
Right. And Japan, that red circle.
The Nishuki, yeah. It signifies the rising sun, but also things like purity and brightness. It's instantly recognizable.
And there are others with very direct symbolism, too.
Absolutely. Look at Saudi Arabia. You have the Shahada, the Islamic Declaration of Faith, right there with a sword. It clearly states its Islamic foundation and, well, strength.
Very direct.
Or France, blue, white, red, liberty, equality, fraternity. Those revolutionary ideals embodied in color.
The classic. And India.
India's tricolor, saffron, white, and green, with the Ashoka chakra wheel in the middle. It speaks to courage, peace, truth, the wheel of law. People who study flags, vexillologists, see these as complex symbolic systems.
So how do these visual stories, these flags, connect back to the borders we were talking about?
Well, it seems to me that borders define the physical space, the where of a country. And the flag, it defines the identity, the who and what that exists within that space.
So one is the territory, the other is the soul, in a way.
That's a good way to put it, exactly. They work together to shape how a nation sees itself and how it's seen by the world. One is the container, the other is sort of the essence inside.
What a fascinating look at these core elements, from mountains defining edges to colors telling deep stories. Borders and flags, definitely more complex than they seem at first glance.
Much more. They aren't just static lines or bits of cloth. They're living symbols, packed with history, identity, and aspirations, always evolving.
We really hope this deep dive gave you a shortcut to understanding them better. Next time you see a flag or hear about a border dispute, perhaps, maybe you'll think about the rich story and the identity woven into it.
And how these two concepts really anchor our understanding of the world's nations.